kind of wish we had somebody in here who genuinely believed. If we're going to talk about this stuff.
I believe. Yeah, we're kind of have an echo chamber going on a little bit.
So, like, I'm going to shut up.
I have a lot of positive things to say about religion. So
I have some positive things to say, besides all the negative shit they did throughout the entire human history that they existed in. But
this episode isn't bash religion. We want to explore, like, how we came to understand things. And how religion and science were kind of working together for a while, and then it started.
The minute science started diving deeper than the book allowed,
it
strayed. But
right,
but like.
But lately, it's coming back together a bit.
You say science,
but their teeth have been dulled.
Religion used science like a pseudoscience to prove like things in the book until
it stops working.
Yeah, until real science started to like sort of blend in, and they were like, "Oh yeah, real science. That's exactly what we're talking about." And then real science was like, "Yeah, but you're wrong." I was just like, "Yeah, well, now you're gonna burn."
Science wasn't free to do what it wished until about the Renaissance, and even then there was still like tiptoeing that you had to do.
Yeah,
like. What is that? 17? What's the Renaissance? Is that 15?
Wait,
15, 16.
Do your intro.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So,
comrades and friends.
Welcome to this thing that we've been doing.
This is High Science. My name's James. This guy.
This is John.
This girl.
Cat.
We're going to tell you about stuff.
Yeah, well, that was a good one. I like that.
Great. Fucking glad.
So, alright. Okay. This is going to get real. We're getting close to religion, but we're not going to hit religion hard yet. We're going to talk about what I was saying before, like the history of the intersection of science and religion. You good?
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
I'm great.
We're going to try real hard.
We try real hard.
Super psyched.
Super psyched.
Pumped, even.
Okay. We're probably going to focus a bit on, like, we're going to hit, like, the big points where science came up with things and religion was like, oh no, I can't handle that. We might sit on evolution for a little bit because I want to talk about evolution a little bit more, but that's like overview or whatever. Okay, so let's start like way back. We usually like Greeks is the earliest we go. Let's go like super back.
Sumerians?
Sure, or even further, man.
Are you talking pre-human?
You can go even pre-civilization. We could talk like nomads and junk.
Yeah.
All right. So picture the kind of world that nomads had to deal with.
I always imagine a giant jungle,
just
or giant desert,
right.
Or giant Arctic tundra.
Yes.
It's usually the worst of the worst.
Never like a nice climate. It's always like the worst, most hostile.
I picture like grasslands.
Grasslands? I kind of feel you. Like looking out over the grassland,
Yeah.
out to the sunset or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the Mongols basically believed in a big open sky because there was fucking nothing else. Yeah,
So,
Earth.
This world is scary,
For sure.
and we don't know anything about it. And we're emerging as a rational species, right? So, like, we have to deal with this scary world that has disease, that has things trying to kill us, that has all this stuff, and we need to figure this out. We need to be able to survive, right?
Yeah.
So, this is where religions start.
Good job.
Was that good?
Asshole.
That's that's the sound of religion.
Yeah. Every time we say religion, ding a bell.
So, back like early civilizations, a lot of maybe not even civilizations, but early groups of humans, a lot of them believed in like serpent gods, which is very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're talking civilizations.
Now they were in civilization.
When they were just groups, we didn't have written language, so...
Right. Yeah, they
No
were
idea
drawn
what
up
they
on the
were.
but so like fucking this, so like they had to figure out a system to deal with the world around them. They needed to figure out a way where they felt like they had some kind of control over things. So they came up with gods, and they had to please the gods in order for good favor on the group, right?
Crops to grow, not to get droughts, not
Right.
to be murdered horribly by the neighboring fauna. And
Exactly, right.
Make sure you
Animals.
find the herd and they don't all
Yes.
Fuck off.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's like, it's kind of interesting, like, psychologically how we handled this heavy time. Like, we told ourselves comforting stories that we felt like we had some kind of control in order to get through this really scary long phase of human times.
Because there's just no way that the serpent god's the real one.
Yeah, man.
I'm more of a believer in Zeus.
Zeus.
I like him better.
Fucking
You
Zeus.
could turn into a
Zeus is
goose.
dick.
Can you really?
Swan. Yeah, he had sex with a lot of humans under false pretenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
stop him?
Like, maybe he did. Might not have existed.
Fucking. I like. It's kind of interesting to learn about religion from like a separate, like
When
from
you're
an
thinking about
outsider reading about a
religion,
story kind of thing.
When
You
we,
know.
when we talk about Thor and shit.
Yeah, like
yeah.
right. Everyone's
Thor's
into
a
that.
funny other thing. People
Right.
genuinely murdered for Thor,
Oh,
hoping
yeah.
to die
Right.
and go to Valhalla and party it up with Thor. Like, that's what people
Interesting.
thought. Like, they were.
Party it up with Thor.
That's where Valhalla is a badass bar where the booze never stops and the bitches don't stop coming in
Bitches don't
either.
stop.
Like, it's just the coolest place that you could be, and it's where a rad warrior goes when they're done. That's essential. You were not afraid to die on the battlefield. If
Yeah.
you died with weapon in hand, you're
Right.
going to party for the rest of.
Eternity.
There is an eternity.
There
don't
isn't.
have that.
They don't have that?
Ragnarok.
That there is an end,
There is an end.
but you can party it up till then.
Interesting.
And you
this
can
is Norse.
participate
Yeah,
in the
you're
end.
gonna fucking kill shit in the end too. Like, you're just partying up until it's time to kill shit.
What belief system is this?
This
Norse?
is it's the Norse,
Norse
mythology.
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 What is
Yeah,
considered the end of what did they do for
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok is the
Just
end.
look up Ragnarok. I'm gonna butcher it, but it's the end of everything.
It's like an idea that because in Norse mythology there's different realms in play, it's the collapsing of realms and a great war that'll just take over everything.
Interesting.
And if you're in Valhalla, you get to participate.
Oh.
If you're here,
You can-
You're almost if you're here, you're like instantly dead.
Yeah.
You're gonna like immediately the planet like is gonna roast and then freeze over or some nonsense.
Gotcha.
And then horrible like they
That
believe
sounds-
in giant monsters like Fenrir. It was the moon.
Yeah.
He's a big wolf.
Wow.
So
I
anyway,
gotta read up on Norse.
we're
stuff.
hanging
I
out
don't
with
know much.
Norse, but
All
we're
right.
moving on.
Moving on. So anyway,
Mythologies.
okay, so they would, in order to interpret the world around them, their best data, the evidence they were getting was, oh, if I sacrifice these people, we got good crops that year. So let's keep doing that. That seems to like
It
work
seemed
out.
to work.
Right. That's like confirmation
It might have
bias.
worked
That
3
like,
years in a row though.
right.
Like then it's like,
yeah,
come on.
Right. But yeah, exactly. Then it's like, then every time
Well,
it doesn't
God's
work.
hungry or-
Yeah. Well, then
Yeah.
I gotta get 5 more.
Right.
Make it bigger. Give me 30
It's interesting,
goats.
like ancient priests were kind of like just fucking, like they were trying their best for an explanation. Like ancient priests, I guess, were like the most ancient scientists.
So
if you think about it.
shout outs to Christopher Hitchin. Religion is our first explanation
Yeah.
for everything.
Right.
It is our first.
First one.
We made other ones.
Yes, we have made other ones.
Maybe
So,
contradictory ones.
for a
possibly
while,
better ones.
for a while, they were working together, but like, fucking as time goes on and like we start coming up with a better way to interpret the world around us, or like, whatever.
Before we had math, we were wondering why the sky was blue.
Right.
We were wondering what made things grow. We were wondering why certain animals dominated the area we were in.
Yeah.
And we needed a reason why.
Right.
We're
We,
inquisitive species.
we can't not help but wonder why.
Right.
Why was the jaguar so fearsome? That's why we're painting him on everything. He's kicking ass out here.
kicking ass.
He's surviving super good in this
Yeah.
really shitty place.
Right.
Where there's poison, where there's...
So they worship the jaguar.
The thing that, like they'll worship the things that seem to be functioning the highest.
Yeah.
I find that the more animal populated the places,
Uh-huh.
the more animal gods there tend to be.
Interesting.
Whereas there's the Abrahamic religions where
Uh-huh.
the only things that are really mentioned in the book are like serpents and lambs and pigs.
Interesting.
And like
Right.
there's mostly farm animal and like cattle and and they talk about their people like cattle
Right.
in general, sheep and the shepherd.
Yeah. So they're talking about these things based on what's around and what they're observing.
You know what paradise is for in an Islamic text.
Paradise?
Yeah,
Is that like the 42 virgins thing?
yeah, but that's for a martyr.
Different.
Let's not butcher it too hard, but it's a place that has ever running water.
Oh,
These people come from a desert.
right.
Like,
So the fact that they have access to water all the time is paradise. That's
yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Isn't that nice? We go in and turn on our sink. We always have water. It's pretty cool.
It's fucking rad.
Yeah, isn't that rad,
I
dude?
would say paradise.
Yeah, seriously. That's interesting. But yeah, you're fucking right. It's like they build their explanations on things based on what's going around them. You know, like they based on what like the concrete things that they interact with.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Can we talk? We're gonna zoom way ahead. We're in ancient times. You know. Well, I guess like we could like sit on Greece for a second, but
Yeah, let's
like
sit on Greece.
sit on Greece for you know what I mean.
Sit on it.
So let's just sit on, dude. I fucking love Greece, man.
Yeah.
I want to like learn as much as I can about like ancient Greece. Like the more like I learn about like history of science, it always goes back to the Greece. I want to know more about that.
There are like 1,000,000 40-minute documentaries on YouTube
Yeah,
that are just
good.
about whatever you want to know about
Okay.
Greece.
They were
just
like
exist.
all. It was like a collection of island cities.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they all had their own culture. Like,
Yeah.
Depends on where you were.
I guess you
The
know what?
easiest example.
I feel
is
like
if you-
I always end up in Athens when
yeah,
I
well,
go back.
that's kind of that's like the Hollywood Greek. Like that's
Yeah.
the one that if we're gonna do a Greece, it's gonna kind of look like this very beautiful, large, artistic Greece. There's gonna be white. There's gonna be
Yeah.
togas.
Mm-hmm.
and that's Athens. So like that, what I
That's
picture
the
Greece.
idea of Athens.
Yeah.
If some historian is like punching himself in the nuts because I'm totally wrong, but like,
It's interesting. It's like
I mean, I think Athens was like the sort of political center.
yeah, that's like where democracy was born. It's like philosophy was born, right? That's like that was a big
was like a
thought
big hub.
area.
So
Interesting. But fucking,
stoicism.
I wonder, like, I don't really know much about this, but like, because I know there was Greek gods, right? But then you started having like Greek people like trying to explain things, I guess,
Using-
separate from the gods, you know, like using, they didn't really do the scientific method yet. They're just thinking about things at this point, right?
Yeah.
So like, the fact that Democritus or whoever it was like explained that everything's made of atoms, did that go against any kind of religion that they had? Like, was there was there an issue between that?
So there was like a base idea in like Greek culture that like everyone understood the Greek pantheon and everything, but the politics of how everything was run was kind of separate. Like to the people, they would preach everything they would do that people would understand, the pantheon, the gods, the things. But the politics happened behind what would be considered kind of closed doors, and they didn't really give a shit.
The
well,
people
no,
didn't
but,
really
like,
give a shit?
wasn't it either like Plato or Galileo? Like the church gave them a really hard time.
Oh yeah, Galileo. The Galileo is way
Right.
out in the future. But yeah, fucking. So like that was like the whole Christian church and getting all that.
I'm sorry, not or
Well, they killed Socrates.
Yeah,
Socrates,
Socrates
that's
asked
it.
too many questions and was too rude.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a religious killing though.
Aristotle?
No, that was more political.
That was
Yeah.
more because he was insulting people with, but like, because
Do you know how he insulted people? He
Yeah.
would just go up to them and be like, "Hey man, I don't think you know nothing."
he'd be like, I may be ugly, but you're fucking stupid. Like for real, he's the fucking raddest dude.
Yeah,
he was
he was-
so raw they killed him.
He was so
Eddie
raw,
Murphy
dude.
wasn't
That's
even
the
that
best
raw.
adjective for Socrates. He's so raw.
They gave Eddie Murphy
Fucking-
a children's movie series.
He's like, didn't what I'm gonna butcher what he said, but didn't Socrates say something like, "I'm the wisest because I know I'm not wise." Like like you know what I mean?
I don't know shit.
I don't know anything,
Well,
and I
it's-
know that I know nothing.
like I think it's knowledge is knowing things, like wisdom is knowing what you don't know, or
I
something.
guess something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
I feel like
Fucking. But like that was a huge time in human fucking history that this one dude like broke down everything that he thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because now we didn't have to sit there fucking chasing buffalo. Across
Yeah,
the plains for
chilling.
5
He
days
was
straight.
chill. He was straight chilling. That he didn't have to worry about no buffalo. Didn't have to worry about no jaguars, dude.
Well-
so he just had to think. You know?
yeah, Greece. Crazy with buffalo and jaguar.
Big problem.
They have a huge olive problem.
I wanna. So I'm gonna put this one aside because I don't know much if there was an intersection between. I'm sure there was an intersection between religion and science, but I don't really know much about it. So we'll put a pin in that one. Maybe we'll go back to it. But so one of the first like big times that science and religion like butted heads was Copernicus, dude. Copernicus was like, I don't even know if this is the Renaissance yet. I think it's like maybe super early Renaissance.
Yeah.
But Copernicus was the first person to be like, dude, I think the Earth's not the center. I think it's the sun. Dude. Yeah, guys, listen to me.
Shut up, Copernicus.
But like the thing is, like his explanation just better explained the motions that we saw in the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people were looking at the stars for a long time, and they made sure that the Earth was in the center. It's kind of like, it's like we needed like some cosmic importance, right? Like that we're the center. Like what, you know what I mean? We had to be important.
Yeah.
And they would look up at the sky, but they would see like weird fucking things. Like
Well,
all the stars move a certain way, right? But sometimes one of the stars in the sky like goes back the other way. So like the whole thing's spinning, right? The whole thing's moving with the times, and then like you'll see a star kind of come this way, then double back, and then go forward.
It's retrograde, right?
Retrograde motion, right? Exactly. So like you imagine you don't know anything about science. You look at the sky and you see that one star doing that shit. You're like, oh, that's super weird. You know what I mean? That shouldn't like. Why is everything else doing that? So in order to explain it, when the Earth was in the center, it was like, I think it was called epicycles or something, that sometimes like planets like went around like this.
Oh yeah, before we figured out that science was like sometimes shit happens.
Yeah, and dude, that's what science is. Like they're
It's
looking
still
up
that
and
way
they're
with
getting,
things we don't
right.
know.
So that's the thing. Like, remember like the difference between a theory and like a law
Yeah.
and observation. So like they're observing in that law, like that's happening. So their best explanation at the time was epicycles, that they like some planets double back. But if you go to fucking Copernicus and his explanation and the fact that we might not be the center, it perfectly explains it, because like things could be moving relative to each other. You know what I mean? If two things are going around the sun, if that's their like core point, like that retrograde motion happens because how we're looking at it as we pass. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of hand motions.
I know. Yeah. Super
So
great.
you don't need no crazy epicycles. All the planets orbit the same way.
Yep.
It's a more simple explanation. You know what I mean?
It's more simple.
So
Occam's razor.
yeah, dude.
Cut that
I
shit
guess,
away.
Like Occam's razor is pretty embedded in science when you think about
Occam's
it. you know?
razor is pretty embedded in figuring things out. You get
The
rid of the
simplest-
details you don't need.
Right.
Simplest logic, like I forget what it's considered. Occam's razor.
It's the simplest explanation is the best explanation.
Yeah, but
it's
like-
it's the explanation
No,
with the
it-
fewest
Not
assumptions.
what
To-
is Occam's
No,
razor.
it's
I know
to
what it is.
cut away
Like an
what you
idiom,
don't
what's it?
need.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Fucking.
called a platitude.
Can I-
Platitude, is that what it is?
What's a platitude?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that it's not an idiom. I can tell you that. It's,
No, it's an
a
actual
philosophical
razor.
principle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
used
dude,
correctly in
can I
debate.
tell you real quick about another philosophical razor that I think is my favorite one?
philosophical razor?
Yeah. So like in philosophy they employ these razors. Like Occam's razor is the most famous one in order to get closer to the truth. It's not like it's one of those principles that we kind of just accept to be true. Like the simplest explanation is the best one. Doesn't have to be true, but like we kind of all accept it to be.
It tends to be.
It tends to be, right. My favorite philosophical razor is called Newton's flaming laser sword. Swear to God, look it
I've
up.
heard this one.
Newton's flaming laser sword. It's I think it has to do with empirical evidence. It's like the explanation that has evidence, like empirical evidence to back it up, is the better explanation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look that up and double check me. So, fucking what were we talking about? Occam's razor before that. Copernicus. Copernicus said all this shit, and the church was not having it, dude. They were not a fan. They cursed Copernicus.
Copernicus?
Yeah.
Copernicus?
His twin came,
Copernicus.
his evil twin came, Copernicus.
McGurniger. He had a smaller mustache.
Fucking they cursed him. The church can handle it, dude.
They were not cool with that.
And like, when you think about it though, it's like
Didn't they excommunicate him?
they excommunicated him.
I like
they
that
fucked
they're
up.
they're casting curses.
They got,
Like all of a sudden Copernicus had holes in his palms or some shit.
oh shit!
Ow.
Imagine. Ow.
What happened?
Fucking.
Oh, dude, look at him.
Who, Copernicus?
Yeah, he looks like he's always smelling shit.
What was that? Oh yeah.
Ew.
Smells like shit.
That picture.
Ah, you're so right though,
Background.
dude.
Right?
Yeah, that has to be.
Oh, there's no thumbnails where we do things.
Yeah, we should start though.
Maybe.
We can make good thumbnails.
It's just images we stole off the internet. I still have that horrible thing.
Oh, yeah. What was?
Homunculus?
Yeah. Oh, the Homunculus man. Yeah. Fuck, man. Oh no.
The homunculus.
Oh,
Anyway,
we have to go back to
Can that
audio.
one be the fucking thumbnail? If we're doing thumbnails, I want them both to be the homunculus.
All right, next way, side by side. Homunculus man and
Whatever we're
Copernicus
talking
smelling
about and bullshit. All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Newton's flaming laser sword.
Thank you.
Yeah. You want to
We
read
can
it?
put them on our website.
Ah, there we go. Let's do it.
Copernicus.
Make a blog post.
So, church wasn't
You find
having
it?
Yeah.
What is it?
No, butcher it first.
I said it's the it has to do empirical evidence.
Sort of. The idea of Newton's flaming laser sword is that what cannot be settled by experiment is not worth debating.
It's not worth debating.
The basic idea is the old paradox. What happens when an irresistible force is exerted on an immovable object?
Hmm.
The tests don't matter.
You
The
can't
question
test
is
it.
wrong.
Right. Ah. Yeah. I still think you could ponder the question.
Wait,
but
is
like,
the flaming laser sword basically
No,
saying
it-
there are stupid
No,
questions?
There are
it's called
stupid
that-
questions,
It's
essentially.
called that because it's a sharper. The idea was in Newtonian
It would
thought.
just be razor.
Instead of a razor, it's sharper and more dangerous. A
Newton's
flaming laser sword.
laser sword, dude.
I
It's
totally agree
fucking
with
awesome
that.
though, right? It's
Guy
the
was-
most metal
Man,
thing.
he's got like a small box cutter, and then you whip out a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
My razor is stronger than your razor.
I don't fucking think so.
I guess
Not
that
smack me in the
I'm
face.
gonna though. I'm sorry.
I think that
He's
idea
like,
helps
I
us
bounced
get
the
to the best questions, I guess. But like, I think you could learn something by pondering about the immovable force and the unstoppable object
Yes, but
or whatever.
the thing, what do you,
That's
the thing
different
you
know what I
learn,
mean?
philosophy
That's
and
it. I
science.
guess that
I was
really
gonna-
is what cuts
the
philosophy
thing you
from
learn
science.
is fine, but you can't say that that's how it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can say that like yeah, you can't put math to the thing you're saying.
Well, it just goes to infinity and it breaks.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
so you can ponder away
Right.
at the immovable object and breakable wall
Right.
bullshit. You could ponder at that.
There
You're not
needs
going
to
get
be a
anything of
connection
value.
to reality, though.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. You're not going to scientifically get anything of value. You may get a new thought. You're like,
Right.
whoa,
Whoa.
nobody thought this
Oh shit.
So
ever.
the original essay was called Newton's flaming
Einstein
laser
did that.
sword, or Why Mathematicians and Scientists Don't Like Philosophy, but do
Oh.
it anyway.
Okay. Interesting.
That's the actual.
I
title
gotta
of the
read that.
essay.
I like that. I'm gonna look into that. Very cool. All right. So fucking Copernicus,
Fucking.
dude. They cursed him or whatever
Whoever's
they
got
did
the
to him.
turkey.
Because he had better explanation for it, you know. But like the church, like had to hold on to their, like they were
Well,
holding on to.
According to their beliefs,
Yeah.
they were the chosen people
Right.
of God.
It's kind of like
so the world has to revolve around.
it was like humanity was in like a childhood stage. You know what I mean? Like at that stage, like you're like the most important thing, and then you
Yeah.
realize that my parents are just normal people. Like they're not super special. You know what I mean? But like it's that on a human scale, like on the
Yeah.
humanity scale. So that's what I guess they were
That's
holding on
called
to.
the development of theory of mind.
Yeah.
From that.
Interesting.
The
Fucking-
What
understanding
if I
that
don't
other
fucking
people
matter at all?
have
Yeah.
their own beliefs that are not yours.
Yeah,
and
we
that
talked
you
about-
aren't
right.
some- Yeah.
Fucking yeah, theory of mind. Humanity was getting to this point, though, with theory of mind. But like this thing's like, fucking all right, never mind. Anyway, so yeah, the church like was holding on to this, and then so Galileo came along. His full name is Galileo Galilei, but like we only go by his first name. I don't know why we picked the first name.
One
I guess
guy
it
to
sounds
show up and
better.
be like, we're calling, I go by last names. Call him Galilee.
Galilee.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
call him Galileo.
I think it really is just Galileo. Sounds way cooler than Galilee.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So fucking he came along and he was like, nah, dude, Copernicus was totally right. Like he was totally right. The
He
sun's
was
in the
fucking
middle.
wrong.
So the church put Galileo on house arrest and they recursed Copernicus. Just
Wait, when you say curse, do you once again mean excommunicate?
they did some shit to him. I don't know.
Because
What they
what
did.
curse are they putting on him?
They excommunicate.
Like, we're not talking to you anymore.
They brought him back in just to kick him out one more
You're
time.
back. Hey, Copernicus. He gets 2 letters in the same day. It's by courier. The guy shows up, reads him the letter, gives it to him.
He's
He's, oh,
back.
cool, I'm back in.
I'm
And
pretty
he's
sure
like, all right, by
Copernicus
the
was
way.
dead at this point. I'm not sure though.
You're like, well, fuck. Yeah, fine. Whatever.
They
Read it to his
him,
grave.
Yeah.
Dug up his skeleton.
Just
and was
to
like, you're
give
still
him some
wrong.
letters.
and
You're
just
back
buried
in.
him.
Yeah.
And they buried him.
All right, so listen, they put Galileo in house arrest. While Galileo was house arrest, he did he did some of the most important science experiments that ever like been done, like with inertia and shit, like how
I
mass
thought with
works.
a nurse, like
A nurse? He did it all with a nurse.
taught her some science.
Oh man, Galileo figured out fucking inertia. That was a huge deal. But I'm not gonna get there. But he did really important. I can't wait to talk about it. I really want to. I really want to talk about it now. I'm not gonna. But he did really important science experiments while he was on house arrest. Okay. Fucking. And that like I guess like so it's like almost the church by like banning him caused like a big revolution in science. You know what I mean? He's like the father of
To
science.
spite them, I'm gonna learn hard.
I'm gonna learn so fucking hard. All right.
I guess
Fucking.
if you have nothing else to do all day.
Yeah, right. Just fucking
Figure
do
out
some
inertia.
experiments with some balls. Figure out some. Dude, he would
Guys,
just.
I'm gonna prove them more wrong.
Dude, he would just drop balls down ramps, and he would be like, he would figure that shit out. Like, I can't. I
Okay,
want.
but here's my question: did they pay all of his bills?
I don't know how that
'Cause
worked.
can I
Like
get
living.
excommunicated
Yeah, right.
right
Like,
now?
Gladly
I'll go on
get
house
some,
arrest.
man.
They
Can I
will
just stay in
bring
my
me
house?
food and
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Actually, it's a great question. We should see how he lived during that time. But fucking anyway, Galileo did some cool stuff.
Watch the fucking reality TV show. About Galileo.
Dude, fucking.
Under house arrest, bro.
Bro. So we did so like experiments happen, like we're learning shit, and the church is still kind of holding on to like their version of the truth. Like people still believe like the literal interpretation of the Bible or whatever. And then geologists figure out, dude, that the Earth is not 6,000 years old. Oh shit, it's not, man.
What?
They figured out based on like fossil record and the dating they did at the time, they predicted at the time of like millions of years old. It's actually billions of years old, but like way longer than the Bible said.
Quick and important question.
Yeah.
Is the Earth flat?
Like now?
Like right now? Well, I guess forever.
No. From reference though.
Dude, you sound like you feel bad to say no. It's like,
No, it's not round, it's round.
Nah.
I don't like making people feel bad.
They should.
Yeah.
They should feel that. People have taken pictures from outer
Look.
space to prove it, and they're like, "Yeah, but I think it's still flat."
It's
though."
still.
They probably faked that.
Yeah. You know what's cool? You know Vsauce? I love Vsauce.
Yeah, no,
He-
stop.
No, I gotta talk about him real quick.
Sponsored by Visa.
He did a YouTube video of like, and the question of the video was, "Is the Earth flat?" And he's like, "No," but like from the frame of reference of a photon, like everything's flat. You know what I mean? Like, so you could learn something out of like crazy questions, I guess. There's a positive. There's a light side.
Don't worry, you're only 99% wrong. Because if you were a photon, you're right. Like, fuck you.
If you're just a
Right.
single one,
Just one.
maybe.
Fucking. All
awesome.
right. What were we talking about? Okay.
When
So the
church
Earth's old,
excommunicated
and like
Vsauce.
people are starting to like not really like they're starting. I feel like at this point humanity is moving to not really take the literal interpretation of the Bible. You know what I mean? But they'll still use
You keep saying interpretation.
interpretation. And people still obviously do, but like at this point it was very ingrained in culture,
yeah, 'cause
and like
they
it's cultural shift.
started publishing the Bible in like other languages besides Latin, so more people were able to read it and then
Right.
talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
Printing press.
Oh yeah, printing press was a
Or
big
no,
deal,
that
too.
was probably a little later. But we were
Sponsored
like
by Martin Luther.
producing
Spartan by printing press.
yeah,
Yeah, fuck yeah.
like, written material was
Right.
going around. So.
It's funny to discuss it in the idea of the people versus the churches, because like you could say the people believed whatever they wanted, but it's kind of funny how the churches also believed something different, because the idea of the interpretations of the Bible was decided by churches, but then also individually decided by people. So the church could preach whatever they wanted, but the people were still going to make their own interpretations.
To
Yeah.
quickly
But,
mention
like,
that
once they were able to talk to each other over distances,
there was a healthy discussion in the church about certain things. They were always constantly debating the books itself, trying to figure things out from that perspective. Oh, they weren't sitting idle on what's it called? Tradition, I guess. There were things that obviously are tradition, but they were healthily debating things. Some things may be considered how many angels can sit on a match or a pin.
Right. Oh,
Like,
that. Right.
Things like that were debated, but
Yeah.
more important, serious things were. And there was a huge concern allowing the common man to read the book and interpret it as they will.
Interesting.
Because they genuinely believe that without a proper following of this like moral code,
Mm-hmm.
you just rape and murder.
That's interesting.
It would
Right.
end society, allowing
Right.
people to interpret the book their own way. And there were people who genuinely believed that. And there were people who were like, I think they have a right to interpret
Right.
it their own way, and I think they can think for themselves in this way, and they won't just break down each other's doors because
That's interesting.
they
It
started
shows like
reading
a
it in their own language.
fear of like.
I mean, if you bring that back to like ancient times, that's why religions like started.
Right.
Or that's why some people say
The
religion
code of law,
started
yeah.
essentially.
Oh,
was
interesting.
to create a way to like control
Wow.
people and like make them be able to be civilized
Yeah.
together.
We're gonna pack a bunch of people together, and we need them to not kill each other because
Yeah.
Right.
some people aren't gonna like each other,
Yeah.
but there has to be a reason you don't kill a person.
Right.
And there's also separate trains
Do
of
you?
thought that think
That's
people
interesting. So it's like
can just do that.
it's like what is fundamental human nature? Is it like once we have rules, then we're all right, or is it like
It's not just about
I-
having rules; it's about having punishment.
but fundamental human nature,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is path of least resistance.
Hmm.
And I think in general, we know that making a society work is far easier than killing a thing to eat it
Right.
every day.
But it's interesting that we had to get to a point like it's easier to be here, right?
It's far easier.
Yeah. So like that means it's easier not to like rape, murder, and kill.
For
Right?
real, yes.
Yeah,
That's why
it's
we're
easier
here.
to work together.
It's
So-
easy, yes, to work as a
Right.
team. Like the example that's given, is when the Jews were traveling through the desert for 40 some odd years. They didn't currently have the moral code to not rape, murder, and kill. They weren't quite there yet. They didn't get it. But they didn't do that. You're telling me for 40 years they could rape, murder, and kill each other willingly and freely because they didn't have this moral code yet,
Yeah.
and still get to the land of milk and honey? And for 40 years they killed each other? No, they went civilly because they were a group of people that knew that it's easier
Yeah.
to be a group than to fight amongst
Right.
oneself.
Yeah. Totally.
Because it's easier.
right. That's crazy, man.
I mean, there's always bumps. That's
Yeah.
why we have laws, because there's always going to be somebody who gets into a bar fight and has to
Yeah.
sit in
Dude,
a jail for a night.
I just remembered a event that happens in ancient Greece, I want to say. No, it had to be Rome. Ancient Rome. They had an event called Saturnalia, where for like 3 days, dude, you can like, so it's like society happens, so like they had like laws, rules, and people did their thing. But for 3 days, like you could do kind of whatever you want. Like the slaves would be masters of the master, and like you can kind of just go like fuck whoever you want. You can kind of like. You know, like the rules of society like went up on their head. You know what I mean? For 3 days.
It's the purge.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know if anyone killed each other though. Like,
Well,
but whatever. But like, then you get back, and then at the end of 3 days, you kind of go back to normal society. So they had like a break from normal society. I think that's kind of a cool
yeah,
idea.
I bet the slaves were never all that mean to the masters when they were the masters for 3 days. Because we're gonna go back to normal.
Yeah, right. For the rest of the year. But like everyone, it was like the masters like were on board. They wanted this like it's like a silly time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like everyone's with it. It seemed like.
I don't know if
for
I
a little bit,
understand
but-
slavery, but I don't imagine that there's much silliness between master and slave.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
Shout out
But,
to
like-
sadomasochism.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like we don't know the slave's mentality in ancient Rome. You know,
I
like
imagine it wasn't a good one.
wasn't happy.
They
I
were
guess
slaves.
humans don't like to be slaves.
The
right?
only thing that was cool about like slavery in Rome was that you could fucking make your way up out of slavery.
Interesting.
Though it was rare,
Yeah, that was
you
rare.
could do it.
Right, it was possible.
How does a slave make money?
No, I guess
You
can't.
pretty much got to buy your way or honor your way. Like maybe somebody tries to assassinate your fucking master, and you
you're
fucking
like,
totally stop that dude and murder his shit
straight up.
just cause you were,
You're just beasting it.
maybe your master's like, you know what, you're free. I'm gonna put you on the payroll. Like
Fuck yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, right.
You could do that. They
Yeah,
could.
right,
It was an
they
option,
could.
whether or not it was.
But it was like it was up to someone else whether or not they like
yeah, they were
Yeah.
a slave.
they were slaves.
A lot of
That's weird.
slaves were, war criminals.
Yeah.
War criminals. Losers in a war that Rome was currently
prisoners.
expanding.
Right. They would go to the towns and just capture everybody and like fucking they're the slaves now.
They would create a wasteland and call it peace.
That's crazy. Fuck man.
Rome was rough,
Rome was rough.
but they were really nice to they were like, listen, believe whatever the fuck you want, just pay your taxes.
It's pretty tight.
That was the cool. They were the coolest. They
Yeah.
were just like, listen,
Right.
I don't care what you believe in. I don't even care.
I don't even care.
Just pay the
Just
tax.
listen, just please.
We're gonna
just,
send a tax dude on a horse. Just give him the fucking
they just shit.
whatever, and then do what you want. Just wave the Roman flag. That's all I want. And
Right.
people weren't cool with it.
They weren't cool with it.
No, because why would they be?
Interesting.
These people just showed up,
Yeah.
killed people you loved, and said, "Now you live in Rome."
Yeah, that's weird. That's scary. I guess you can't really ever be like, I guess I'm Roman now.
I guess.
Shit, man. That's weird. That's weird. Like, even the idea of conquering was a big deal in
That's
human
that's how you
history,
made
right?
your fucking country the coolest.
That's weird. Fuck. Alright, anyway, so where were we? We were talking fucking
Copernicus? No, we're Galileo.
Galileo, we did. Let's go to fucking Darwin.
Yeah.
No. Alright, fucking evolution is a big idea. It was a big deal. When we came up with evolution, then biology happened. You know what I mean? At this point, it was called naturalism to study things.
Yeah.
But when evolution became a thing and we could put all we know about life into a narrative, into like, this is what's going on, that's when biology became a thing, like a study. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because before this, it was kind of just like we were observing things and things were kind of all tacked on to each other. It's like plants are like this, animals are like this, and this is just the way things are, kind of. They didn't really have like a reason why things were the way they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then evolution came, and then they had a reason why. So like that was a big deal. It's a big scientific idea. So Darwin didn't come up with that evolution is happening, right? He came up with the best explanation why it's happening. Like we knew evolution was occurring based on like fossil evidence and things like that, like dating things. And we actually talked about like one of the other explanations. Lamarck, remember with the giraffes, just stretch a little bit. Fucking just keep stretching and keep passing that on. That's how it works. Darwin came along and was like, no, like that's not how it works. No, no.
Now.
Now.
Is that what?
That's what he's.
Darwin,
Darwin was
he was
G.
English.
He was he was from London.
Now.
Nay, sir.
English naturalist, geologist, and biologist.
Darwin was the fucking G. I want to do like a history. We should talk about Darwin all day one day.
We'll do it one day, maybe never.
He had a rough life. His dad didn't let him do a lot of stuff.
Mount Shrewsbury, Shropshire.
Wait, real quick, I gotta tell you
Where
two.
did this conversation?
I gotta tell you two quick stories about Darwin, and then we'll move on. So Darwin got invited to sail the ship where he did his study on the Galapagos Islands with the birds. Remember the finches, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got invited to go on this boat to chart out the geography of South America. And he wanted to go. He wanted to go on this boat, but his dad was like, "Nah, you can't go." And he gave him a list of 8 reasons why you can't go. The last.
Okay, so that's. I wish your parent would do like this. Is why
This is exactly.
I think you should wear a short sleeve shirt with the shorts you're wearing to school, not a long sleeve shirt with the shorts you're wearing to school.
Just like
from
make like a
Mom.
four.
And I'm like, but I don't care that they're 2 totally different colors.
16
and I'm not
reasons
wearing
why.
a jacket in winter. And she's like, here's why. She just said, no, fucking do it.
I guess there's some relationship, right?
I don't want to talk to you. This is why you fucking can't do it. And he gives them a list.
Dude, the one of the reasons on the list was it would be a useless journey. That was one of the reasons.
There'd be nothing for you to see there. Nothing.
So
Idiot.
Darwin almost didn't go. He got his uncle to convince his dad to let him go. He rebuked each one of the reasons, the uncle.
Oh, wow.
And the dad was like,
Dude, this family's so cool. He's like, and here's 8 reasons why it would be fucking radical. He's like, well, here's 2 reasons why shut up.
So
2 reasons, because fuck you.
Oh, man.
So he let him go on the
Darwin's
boat.
family's super cool.
Super
alright.
cool, right? But like, his dad was also a little shitty though.
No, it's really cool.
So fucking alright. So they let him go on the
Dad's
boat.
got to pay for it. Why does he got to be shitty?
No, he's just going on the boat. Like
Oh,
he's
it's free?
yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they would cover. They invited him to be on the boat to help chart out the geography of South America and like study things and stuff. I don't know how
it was
they
like
did
a
it.
job.
I guess it was like a job. Yeah.
Oh, then maybe. What did he have a job?
He was
Yeah.
training to be a like a clergyman.
Is
Something.
that anything related to what his father was doing?
No, his dad was a doctor.
That explains a lot.
So like
I guess.
I don't want to do anything besides be a doctor.
No, he was being a clergyman.
Clergyman. He was doing.
No, I know, and I'm sure his dad gave him a list of 12 reasons you shouldn't be a clergyman when he was 16.
Darwin tried
Too
to
late,
go
read
into
the book.
medicine, I think, but he failed out of school, dude. Darwin wasn't good at school. But he really liked like going out and doing shit though, like exploring, you know. So okay, so he goes down to the boat. He one more time almost didn't get on the boat. You know why?
Because you get seasick.
He met with the captain. He actually did get seasick all journey, but that's a whole other thing.
I would have.
He met with the captain, and the captain almost didn't let him on the boat. You know why?
Because he was a weird pervert.
Because the captain didn't like the shape of his nose. That was why he didn't always let him on the boat.
Yeah.
Imagine you didn't let him on the fucking boat, dude. That was such a big deal that he was on that boat and learned all that shit. He always didn't let him on because of his nose. Isn't that fucking nuts?
I don't like his nose.
Yeah.
Every time I see his face, I want to break his nose.
Dude, that was such like a pivotal moment, and they didn't even fucking know at the time. Like it was just, you know, whatever.
Does anybody?
What about the nose?
No, when it's pivotal.
I guess that's what I'm saying though. Like, how do we know when these moments are happening? The captain was just kind of doing his thing, like you know what I mean?
Cascading into the butterfly effect.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
Fine, good.
Fucking. But anyway, so he let him on the boat and he did all this stuff. He figured out that things change over time because of certain like things have traits, right? Like you're a certain height, weight, right? Like hair color, things like that.
Weight's a trait.
Well, I think
Why did you just wipe your arm as you said?
like hair, like I don't know. Like,
Arm hair
this is my
color
color.
specifically.
That's the hair that
This
you
is
point to, not like.
I don't know why. But fucking, so sometimes you have these traits, right? And sometimes they're beneficial. They help you survive better in the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help you survive better.
Sometimes
So like,
you fucking don't.
if sometimes they don't, and those the ones that don't help
there was
you,
a short,
they're
ugly giraffe.
they're more likely to die, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the traits that are good that help you survive
You get laid.
are more likely to like survive, and then you pass on your so you're-
Specifically important that you pass it on.
Yeah.
I gotta fuck something.
fuck yeah,
I
man.
really, really do.
So like you have the random gene mutation to make the traits, and then the traits get selected for based on the environment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. But it implied that, going back to religion, it implied that we have a common ancestor with apes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Technically, we have a common ancestor across all life.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, if you go back far
enough.
enough. That's
At
how
some
we...
point you hit the amoeba.
We was a fish people.
Right. So like the reason why like we say we're similar with apes is because you have to go back less time to find our common ancestor than if we tried our similarity with whales. You know what I mean? But dude,
We eventually hit whales.
but dude, whales are mammals.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
You know what that means?
We're whales.
Whales went on land and then they went back in the water.
Like, screw they were almost elephants and they turned the fuck around.
They were-
Like, screw this, it's hot. I can't filter feed. I'm going back in the water where I could blow out rainbows.
Isn't that nuts?
Whales are cool as fuck.
So fucking anyway, so we have a common ancestor with apes, right? But that means that.
I'm just thinking the redness. I ain't no damn dolphin.
But dude, like the fact that we evolved from like, the
homunculus.
whales, yeah. The fact that we,
Means that God didn't create.
yeah,
us.
God
Or-
didn't make us. We're not important in like
Or
a
God
creation
created that
way.
first thing and then evolution just happened. What if he,
That-
what
that
if he
is-
just started the keys?
That is probably the most scientists who are religious probably subscribe to that idea. Like who who started the Big Bang? Like where'd that come
What
from?
is the
I think from what I've like heard from the Pope recently,
Mm.
he might agree with that.
Yeah, the Pope did a statement. I read about that too. You're right. He was just kind of like, listen, evolution's
That's the remix
real.
to Ignition.
Evolution's real. Big Bang's real. It's like we just have to accept like the science. But
Yeah.
he's taking a not what's the word of like complete interpretation of the Bible. You know, not like a literal interpretation of the Bible, but the Bible as like a guide and as a way to handle big, way to handle life. You know. I think religion really sticks around because like we need to be able to deal with big fucking things, and it's fucking hard for us to deal with. Like we all have to die, you know?
Yeah, it's rough.
That's fucking dude, that's rough. That's really rough when you really think about it. You know what I mean? We
Shit.
all have to like figure out how to live our life. Like where like if I have a mythical guideline of how to live, then it makes me feel more comfortable that I don't have that much freedom, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I know the right thing to do. Like, there's a right answer.
Yeah, but also like,
pretty
just how do
rad.
you deal with like pain and
Yeah.
loss?
Right, exactly. Like, big
tragedy.
things. Yeah.
Like you need,
There's a sick party going on later.
and then you
Tonight?
do shitty shit.
And all those
No.
people
Bad
you love
decisions.
that died, they're there.
They're going.
Yeah,
They're at that party.
That's at the party,
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
Like, think of...
he fucking goes later.
Wait, can I come to the
I
party?
got
now?
you, bro.
Thank you.
yeah.
Look
He's
at this
not
joint.
high. He doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm just, dude.
Were you with him?
Yeah.
Cat's
No.
like, I'm at the
I was
party,
right
I'm
there
with
with
them.
John.
Yes.
I was like, well, drinking
Thank
doesn't
you.
help.
Yes, thank you.
There's a sick party that you're gonna go to
Right.
eventually.
No,
But,
but,
like-
actually,
but
that
only-
shout out to the Pope. He did a really good talk on TED Talk. Like,
Did he?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see that. I gotta check it out.
Sponsored by the Pope.
All about how like climate change is a problem
Yeah.
and like scientists are, we shouldn't just be ignoring them.
Yeah, I think
Science
I
is
really
real.
do think that like science and religion could. I didn't think this way like 6 months ago, but like I feel like I was very. See, we're getting religion. We got here. I was very anti-religion for a long time because I was very religious when I was younger. You know, I was really religious like up until like up through like even the beginning of college. I was still pretty religious. You know what I mean?
I
Like
wasn't
praying and
religious
shit.
that long, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was fairly religious.
But like then, I
I read the book
And
and, I was like,
then you were like, oh no, and went
And
totally fucking
exactly.
atheist for a while.
I don't even remember when it happened. I don't remember like I know that it had to have happened because I'm not religious anymore. You know what I mean? But like, and then you feel like once you're out of it, you feel like a real animosity to it. You know, like you feel like this lied to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's how you feel. Go like looking back at it. You know, but like, I feel like the way I feel now, the reason why I think they could the reason why I didn't think they could coexist was because like they were going against each other for the truth. Like, what is the right thing? Like, science is saying it's this way, religion's saying it's this way, and like we can logically and scientifically rebuke everything the religion's saying. So like you feel like we're superior to it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like life's hard, man. And some people just like need to believe that the people that the people that are important to them that die are somewhere else and they'll see them again. You know, they need to believe that in order to go through and live life. Like they can get on board with these are the people that we could coexist with. They get on board with the problems that are going on, and they're trying to fix things. They understand like this is their true problem. We need to fix it. They're on board with like our best explanations for the truth. They're like with the scientific method, you know. But like they need beyond that. They need things to make sure that they could stay sane day to day, you know. And like, fuck,
and the
man.
fact that we could just be wiped out by whatever because nothing
Dude.
really cares
They
is
need,
pretty
they
friggin'
need
scary.
that little bit
Yeah.
of comfort that life
Yes.
isn't completely random.
Exactly right.
It's wonderful umbrella.
And
But we
and that's
could
all
be
right
hit by a
though, you know.
space
Like
war.
if that's how they want to live, like that's cool, man. That's
We could be
chill.
wiped out like the dinosaurs tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it. So
Because we
there's
don't want
no
to spend the
reason
money.
not to
Yeah.
believe
Right.
that it'll be okay.
Yeah. I think what I like for me personally in my life or whatever is like I like to be able to think about like I like to like I guess question if it's like a thing or not. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to question any aspect of my life, including that. Like some people that's off limits. They can't question that like I'm like there's a heaven. We're going there for good. You know what I mean? But I guess like the trade-off is it's like scary not having a thing, you know? It's like
Are you scared, John?
I mean like dude, everyone's got to die, you know? That's a scary thing.
But you know what's cool though?
Mhm.
Everyone before me did, and they're just fine.
And they're just fine. But like yeah, I guess I guess you could like kind of
Everyone's-
let go of an ego for
Everyone,
it,
yeah,
you know?
it's like, you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of dying in pain.
Mhm.
But I'm not really afraid of being dead. Because I wasn't really afraid of being pre-born.
That's a good point. Like you don't remember that and
And
you're
I won't
okay
remember
with
being
it.
dead.
Right.
Or we don't have a reason to believe that there isn't one, like an afterlife or a place that you go afterwards.
Right.
There could be. It doesn't necessarily, like, You know what I heard a comedian say this once? It's like, what if we're wrong and Egypt was right? And you die and you go to this place and this dude is sick fucking crocodile head, just like, what up?
Wait, give me all your money. Oh, you're doing
Oh, you didn't bring any money with you?
Oh,
shit. Dude, I said bury with me with my money and they fucking didn't.
Right.
But like,
That's interesting.
you know, what?
Yeah.
So they're not. There necessarily isn't, you know, an
Like,
afterlife. But
yeah.
from my perspective, if I die, it'll be like what it was like before I was born.
Right.
I'm not
Just
gonna
nothing,
front
like
and
a
say
whole
I'm not
nothing.
kind of scared of that moment, but
Right.
like I don't live in fear of it, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not expectant to meet any dead relatives
Right.
and friends afterwards.
That's yeah. And I guess you could reach an acceptance like beyond like the religious level of it. You know what I mean? Like you could just be like I guess that's kind of like
You
Well,
know
it's
what?
the
My
theist.
view of it now is not even anything to do with the afterlife. It's like I'm cool with Jesus because I like what he
Like-
said
like a
about how we
moralistic-
should live our lives.
yeah, like
I believe
you can go
that
based
was
on the
what good
teachings,
is,
right?
like,
Yeah.
And that's all.
Like you could learn some good shit, I
Yeah.
guess, you know?
If you
You can
wanna-
learn how to be a better person
Yeah.
in this life right now.
Right.
So
This is where I'm at, and I think this is I feel good to be in at this place now. Like, I remember I was talking to someone, and they were talking to me about like religion and stuff, and I was just like, man, I can't do it. Like, I'm not with it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way I believe. Like, this is the way I think about things. And then they said to me, they're like, you know what though? Like, you could learn something from it. Like, you can still like. You could play in that area. You could
Yeah.
learn
But
something
the
from
same
religion.
way you can dance in philosophy.
Exactly right. Like I don't have to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now.
You
It's
see
like
the
I could.
perspective.
Yes. It was an Aristotle quote that I really like. It's the mark of an educated mind is be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. You know? Isn't that cool? So it's like, if I want to live in a world where I could question everything, then I have to be able to question like I have to be able to even like play in religion to be able to question things there too. You know?
I mean, it's like you take a dialogue between two people. If one has one idea and one has
Yeah.
the other, and they're totally set
Right.
and they're
Yeah.
being 100%
Yes.
right, and they can't give to anything the other person says, and it's not a conversation.
Exactly right. It's
Nothing
one
gets
side.
accomplished
Right.
at all.
Exactly right.
But if they're willing to compromise and like,
Yes.
think about things, then
Totally. And that takes that's hard for people to do, you know? Because it's like we define ourselves based on our beliefs. Like like our ego is so tied up in the way I think things are, you know? And it takes a lot to be able to separate yourself from it. Like here are the things that I believe now, but it's a basket, you know? It's like I have to be able to like take out the things that I can't believe anymore, be able to put new things in because I can't hold on to like a closed idea. You know what I mean?
well,
Does
it
that make
doesn't
sense?
help when like people freak out when politicians start flip-flopping. Like
Yeah.
maybe they change their fucking
I think
minds.
it's a great trait to be able to change your mind. I think that's
Yeah.
probably the most important thing to have in politics is new information comes, you need to be able to change your stance. You need to be able to change your mind. You know
Oh
what I
shit!
mean?
I was wrong.
Oh shit! Like that's you know what I mean. You have to be able
It's
to.
okay to
accept
be
that.
wrong
It's
if
all right.
you don't continue burying the rest of the world in your wrong. Oh
Man.
No, not you. Not your sir.
Um.
50.
Fucking. But yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking. All right. I was gonna talk about the Scopes monkey trial.
Do it.
Do
I
it?
don't remember what it's about, but I remember really liking it.
All right, cool.
Oh wait, no, I do.
You
There
do?
was that book, right?
Well, yeah. What book?
Scopes
It
Monkey
was based
Trial, the
off
book.
play, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Scopes Monkey Trial, the screenplay, the book.
You're right. It is based on like there is a work of literature or something
Yeah.
based on it. I forgot what it was.
I fucking read it in like 7th
Gone.
grade.
Gone with the Wind.
No.
Is this Gone with the Wind?
No.
No,
I don't know
it's
why.
Super not
It's
Gone with the
super-
Wind. That's the
I
Civil
don't know
War.
why that came to my mouth though. Gone with the Wind. It was
I'll
just
Google
there.
it. Talk
Alright.
about the.
So fucking okay.
Bro.
So
Gone with the
back
Wind.
to fucking Darwin. We have a common ancestor with apes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's very hard for people this time to accept that like we came from apes. That they seem barbaric. They seem like they're
Can
so
we talk
other
about,
from
this
us.
was like in America.
Yeah,
right?
this is 1920s, dude.
Yeah.
This is 1920s. Like the apes, and they seem so other. You know what I mean? Like they're not civilized. They're not humans. They don't have the essence of humans. So like, how could we have anything in common with them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I ain't no monkey.
Right. So like, okay. So like in school, I believe it's Tennessee. This was happening in Tennessee. In
Yes.
school, they had to teach creation in science class.
Which,
They had to-
for our listeners, is the thought that the world was created like
Yeah.
6,000 years ago by God.
I forgot those guys
He
were there.
made Adam. It happened exactly as it is in Genesis.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
They
Exactly.
Had to teach that.
Right. They had to teach it as literal fact. You know. So, a substitute teacher allegedly taught evolution instead of creation. You know what I mean? Later on in the trial, when they were like interviewing him or whatever, or I don't even know, like, but he said like he wasn't even sure if he taught it or not. They might have just kind of picked him as like the person for the trial. You know what I mean? But like he essentially taught evolution in school, and they were like trying to nail him for that. You know what I mean? So the thing was like everyone knew he was guilty because he did it. Like, he broke the law. You know, but the trial still lasted a long period of time, and it got so much fucking attention. It got like the 2 biggest lawyers in the fucking country, dude. This was like a huge media time in America. Like, this was transmitted on radio. I think it was the first trial to ever be transmitted on radio. So people were like fucking tuning in for the first time, listening to this shit.
Ooh,
Dude,
law is boring.
all right. So they fucking argued. Like, they knew he broke the law, but they argued like the spirit of the law, like, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, teaching religion in a science class. Like, that was really, it was such like, it became a philosophical debate. It became like a Greek, like, you know what I mean?
In a public school where there should be a separation of church and state in the United States of America.
Right. That's another point too.
Inherit the wind.
Inherit the wind. See, I Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Inherit of the Wind.
Gone with the Inherit of the Wind. That's
2,
what it
The
was.
Return of the Inherit.
Yeah, man. I knew it was like the wind, I guess. I don't know. What is Gone with the
The
Wind? I don't
Wind
even know
in
what
the
Shut
that
up.
is.
It's a movie.
Gone with the Wind is about the Civil War. Stop it.
Okay. Fucking,
American Civil War.
Americans fucking.
So
Oh,
There's
this
a lot of
debate
civil wars.
Was happening.
This debate was
Whether-
happening.
Yeah.
Okay, the Scopes monkey trial. Like, they couldn't handle the fact that we came from monkeys. They were like arguing, like they were arguing.
You can't handle it.
They can't handle. They
You
were.
need to go to jail.
They thought that like by believing in science that you give up your religious beliefs. That's where they were because they needed
They're-
literal interpretation or I guess no interpretation.
They're
You know what I mean?
non-overlapping magisterium.
What does that mean?
It means that they work separately.
They work separately.
They can work separately,
Right.
but they work separately. You
Right.
just need to be able to think.
They're mutually exclusive.
Mutually exclusive, right? But they couldn't separate it, I guess. You know what I mean? Scopes got found guilty. We knew that was going to happen. He got fined for $100 at the time, which is about like a little over $1,000 now.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I make fucking 35
Well, like
cents an hour.
1,000's rough, but it's also like probably like fairly low based on
Yeah, I think they
What was
wanted
going
to do
on.
a lot more.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to like put him in prison or something.
right. But like that was a big deal. This trial.
I mean, he's also probably fired.
Yeah.
Oh, super fired.
Like, I guess we'll just keep him
I
on.
think
Just
he
don't do
actually
that
went on
again.
to teach again still, and maybe in another state though.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
sure
not.
someone in New York was like,
Yeah.
"We're cool here."
We didn't write it on
Come on.
this. I didn't write this on my
But
resume.
dude, like
Just move
I guess
on.
what's interesting about this is it's frustrating that this went to trial, but it also brought a lot of attention to evolution too, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It brought a lot of attention to the I guess debate between religion and science. You know, like it was getting a lot of people thinking about this stuff. So
But I feel like it also kind of like cemented this idea for a while that it has to be one or the other.
yeah, right,
That you can't have both.
exactly right. But like
Builds up a big old wall.
Fields built big old wall. Fucking right. So now I'm pretty sure all states, or even Catholic schools now teach evolution.
Yes, we got Common Core.
yeah.
Not that I'm a fan of Common Core,
Right.
but the idea is
They
there.
need to test the tests, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But
now it got is the ignition switch, man.
Yeah.
He's a boom,
But
started that
Common
shit.
Core isn't
Yeah.
really about the tests. It's about teaching a standard curriculum.
yeah, right. It's interesting. I'm not a fan of tests, but like
No, me
it's
neither.
good, I guess, that they're teaching evolution
Yeah.
because I guess if,
Like,
if the test
tests
is
are
the
an
reason,
attachment
yeah,
to the act.
yeah,
They're not really
mm-hmm.
the hugest idea.
right,
They just come as package.
yeah, exactly.
Huge.
Fucking so, man. I guess religion's alright. Is the summary.
In summary, we're moving closer to bringing
Yes.
them together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And the name of that TED Talk, I looked it up, is "The only world worth living in is one that includes everyone."
Awesome. That's so
So.
nice. It's so inclusive. of
No,
everybody.
sorry. Why the only future worth building includes everyone.
I like it. Includes
Pope.
everybody.
Look it up.
By
Get
the
your
Pope.
inclusion on.
Author the Pope.
Thanks, Pope Frank.
Science is not a club. It's kind of a way of thinking.
This guy. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Put that on T-shirts.
Put on
Right?
t-shirts.
Next to my female gamer shirt.
Yeah. Why'd you take that off, man? It looked good.
It's really tight and uncomfortable. I don't know how people wear tight clothing. I'm like, I feel these clothes on me the whole time, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I prefer to be draped in
Draped.
fabric.
Because
Toga,
the men folk want to be able
toga.
to see our curves, so we have
Yeah.
to wear tight clothes.
But like, if it like,
As I,
I would.
say, while wearing men's shorts.
No, like that. You know what? I would be. I feel like I'd be the same. Like I don't want to wear this. This sucks. Like
Yeah.
I feel all of me.
You know,
I
it's
don't wanna.
interesting. Like, I try to picture, like, what it would be like if I was a girl, and I still can't picture myself wearing makeup. I still can't picture myself dressed. You know what I mean?
You didn't been programmed.
I've been programmed to be a
No,
boy.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
like, it's crazy.
It's pretty rad.
Although I
Fuck pink.
I was
Right
gonna
there
say, I'm
with
pretty
that.
sure you'd be Cat.
I don't wear makeup.
Right,
You
right.
do.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, see, I would be just like
Okay,
you.
so
though.
wearing like
It's
the
like,
same
what
shoes,
fuck
the
ever.
same
I'm wearing
shorts.
some comfy ass shit.
Yeah.
And,
I dig your Marvel shirt.
Thank you. Very comfortable.
Sponsored by Marvel.
Sponsored by Marvel. Yeah, how many sponsors do you have now?
Like 40.
Including the Sun.
It'd be
They don't
great
pay.
if some of them could actually.
Yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar.
No,
Yeah.
KD.
Okay.
KD.
New nickname. Sponsored by KD.
Kendrick Lamar.
I meant L. Not D. I
Are we
meant L.
having letter identification issues?
Maybe.
Do you need some speech therapy?
I guess I do.
He needs less pot.
Wait, did you say
Wait.
more pot?
Oh boy. Wait, we did that whole talk on one joint?
We did that whole talk on a joint and a half.
Oh, okay.
Because the roach counts.
Man.
I could have sworn you lit that like half an hour ago.
Yeah,
This one?
Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe you just showed it to me and I just looked at you like, eh.
Also no.
That was bad. I don't think we killed religion, did we?
No, it's still alive. I'm pretty sure we couldn't kill religion if we tried.
Right, but no, I
Dude,
mean
I
like
feel
Believe
like-
me, James would
what
try.
I mean by
Oh,
like
I've never
we
stopped.
didn't just shit on it though, right?
No.
Yeah, I think that was
I
good.
feel like we can't keep any of this for end bullshit because now we're just talking.
Yeah, I was gonna
this is
say,
the
I
most
think I'm gonna
meta
stop.
nonsense.
Not
All right.
They could be included.
All right, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
This can be like the fucking epilogue.
Epilogue.
Put
Yeah,
this
we could
in
tack it.
attachment.
Yeah, bonus episode. Bonus track.
Keep listening to us.
I want like, you know, it
Keep
is
it. Fuck
yeah,
it.
fucking
Let's go. Let's make it another 2-hour episode. Let's do another one.
Oh.
You guys ready?
My back hurts.
Yeah, well, then sit in a comfy chair. It doesn't even matter.
You should bring a
What do you gotta even have
cushion.
headphones on? Come smoke this joint, fam.
Shut up.
Fan. Man.
Yeah.
So fun fact, because I was looking up.
Copernicus was a little bitch.
Saturnalia was the Roman.
It had to be because Saturn.
Saturnalia was the Roman party,
Yeah.
where for like 5 days,
Five.
the idea was that everyone was, not to say equal, but everyone was allowed to do
Whatever.
what.
There
But
was
that's
no
not.
classes.
Yeah, everyone is the same in everyone's eyes for a while.
It wasn't the purge.
No, you couldn't go out and break the law.
Right.
Gambling was permitted.
It was like social constructs went away.
Yeah, social constructs went away, even to the point where slaves weren't slaves in that time. And everyone wore the same kind of party clothes and hats
Yeah,
and
silly
everything
stuff.
that they wanted to, so no one knew who anybody was. Like, you could be a slave for like a fuck. You could wear a mask. You could do whatever you want in these 5 days, and you could just party and drink and rave and do
Party
everything.
and bullshit
And
and party
Fuck
and
whoever you want.
bullshit.
Yeah, you fuck whoever you want.
And you
Fucking everyone.
and you could just
Consensually, I
hang
guess.
out, and like that. They did that for 5 days. Ironically, it happened in the end of December.
That's cold out there.
Yeah.
In Rome? That's northern
Well, I
hemisphere.
guess then you.
Their winter wasn't warm. It was in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't freezing, but
Right.
it wasn't warm.
And
Right.
fun fact,
Sweatshirt weather.
Yeah. But
In-
then you can.
With
hide
all the
your
outdoor
identity.
fucking, you'd be fine.
in Athens, they had a similar party
Oh.
called Chronia,
Ooh.
held in the honor of Cronus.
Right.
Same exact thing.
You know what's kind of a cool thing about religion is like the fact they make traditions. You know what I mean? We need like secular traditions like Saturnalia. You know what I mean? Let's do that.
So in the Christian faith,
Yeah, they're
there.
handy for those holidays.
you know what I mean?
So
Like capitalism like doesn't want holidays. But
No.
like,
No,
So there were certain ceremonies in the Christian faith. I can't remember the specific ones because there are so many. Germanic, around the 1500s, like during the Renaissance, where they would just like go nuts and kind of do that. They would have like massive parties, and if you didn't attend,
right?
you were like a weirdo. Like this
Yeah,
is
like
this is part of the
what we're
religion. This is
doing,
a
yeah.
religious celebration.
See,
You-
like, why we
you're here.
we need more social stuff.
That's
I
not
feel like.
belting.
no. We need more breaking of social stuff.
Well, I know
'Cause that's
what I mean.
holidays are.
What I mean by
Holidays is-
social stuff is like we need opportunities to come like together for these kind of things. You know what I mean? We need the opportunities to be able to celebrate
And
like
not just be
some.
working stiffs. all the time.
Exactly. Seriously.
Are you saying that
Like
maybe
think
we
about it.
should
People
less
work
to party
Thanksgiving.
more?
People work like Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
And that's
kidding.
the 2 days a year. That's 2 days. Like why? Like back in the day in ancient Roman times, there was fucking so many.
This is a
holidays.
5-day period that we're talking about.
Fuck,
Where it's
five
like,
apparently it was
fucking day.
5 days
it's a
long.
5-day. We have it's a big ass feast. Probably they probably like, oh dude,
Right?
They probably ripped it up.
Think about like
There
that's
was,
that's
like,
what
topless
life is all
ladies
about.
everywhere.
You know what I mean? Like
Topless ladies.
yeah.
Topless
Does anyone
gentlemen.
still do Saturnalia? We should move there. Want to move there?
Yeah,
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
probably Greece.
You think?
It's probably lame
No.
now.
Oh,
You think it's
yeah.
lame?
No, wait, no, it wouldn't be Greece, but
Let's
current
see.
Rome.
No, Rome. Well, no.
No.
Yeah, where the Pope lives?
There's Mardi Gras.
That's
like
the
close
Vatican.
enough.
Let's
There you
just go
go.
to Thailand and be expats.
the Pope
Let's
has
do that.
Saturnalias, sponsored by the Pope.
Let's go to Thailand. Want to teach English in Thailand?
No,
Why not?
maybe take Amy. She get.
Why don't you? Well, then you gotta come.
What I did.
Dude,
Yeah.
teaching English in Thailand super easy, and you live like a king down there. You get a lot of well, you get like you get paid like
Like a
30,000.
king for
Listen,
real?
you
Do
get
I get to
you
behead
get paid
people?
you get paid like $30,000 US, but you live like a fucking. You have mansions down there when you're working that.
So
way.
we're going to Thailand?
No, like you could spend a whole day.
That's
I gotta
what
go
I'm
to
saying.
Thailand.
Why?
For a thing.
Why not go to Thailand? Give
'Cause-
me one good reason not to go to Thailand.
You get
What's
a
the
hotel
internet
for, like,
connections in
$5.
Thailand?
Good.
Don't lie to me.
Ladyboys.
You don't know. Hold on.
Look it up.
He's lying.
Look it up. Look up internet connections in Thailand. See how quickly. See, listen. If I
Hold
can't
on,
get a ladyboy in
average-
30 minutes or less, I'm not paying for it.
Average internet
Alright.
Seriously.
speed,
Don't
Thailand.
shit on Thailand.
Why?
Not.
Like, why would we anchor ourselves
Boy
kind of
delivery
shitty?
is really slow. I'm
Really-
saying it's really fast. Hell yeah, that's why you go. That's what it's for. Like, there's Amsterdam if you want to smoke a bunch of weed. There's Thailand if you want to have a bunch of weird sex.
Yo, my cousin went to Amsterdam and they were smoking joints, and it was weird to be smoking joints.
Yeah?
They were like, oh, you're like smoking pures or whatever. Like they smoke spliffs. They do it like little like, and like my cousin and his friends were like going ham at the table, and everyone's like
You're
looking
gonna
at him like
die,
nuts.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Different cultures, man.
Dude, when I was in Thailand, a bunch of the people I was with saw a fucking ping pong ball shooting event.
Ping pong ball shoot.
like,
Oh, that's how she was shooting it.
What?
I did
You
not
were-
attend this. I had no desire to see this.
Wait, was that right?
I have every desire.
Fucking
Yes,
sweet.
you were.
Shit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
I
just
lifted my
impressive.
legs
That's
and then shot a
impressive
ping pong
mechanically.
ball
Right?
That's just you know
out
what I
of my
mean.
vagina.
Apparently, she shot out larger things as well.
Yeah.
A bowling ball, for
Dildos
instance.
too, like stuck on the back
A
wall.
missile. This is at the end of the dildo is a rad suction cup, so like you get to stick on the thing. Yeah. Whatever
Fuck,
this
man.
episode is
Like,
and
but like,
bullshit.
is this still recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No
I told him
way,
to keep going. We're
So
keeping
actually,
it.
I'm gonna be honest. Thailand has pretty good
dude.
sweets.
Give me
Are
one
we going to
reason.
Thailand?
Give me
But
one
only-
reason not to go to
Only
Thailand.
in like 3 cities.
What, are they expensive
Bangkok?
cities?
Yeah, I
of
was
them?
gonna say it would have to be Bangkok.
All right, dude. We'll live in Bangkok,
Dude,
like
you
on
get
the
hit
edge
nuts
of Bangkok.
every day. That's like what happens there. That's why it's so
Shut
easy
up.
to live there.
But dude, like the beaches there, are fucking
Legit,
dead.
you would have to be in either Bangkok, the Chiang Mai province,
Which is gorgeous.
or
And-
I
and-
hear
Chiang
it's
Mai,
gorgeous.
Northern Beret.
Dude.
Anything past that, and the interconnection is a garbage.
But that's not
Tell
like
me
cities. Like Chiang Mai is like a whole area.
Tell me right now why we're not going or we're going to Thailand.
Because I don't speak.
Come on, man.
Because
Let's.
I want
I'm supposed to go there, and there's
there's
a guy who already speaks
Let's fucking
English.
go.
Is like, yes, I'm gonna hire you to speak English. And I'm like, yes, bro. I'm gonna speak English real good to these kids.
Dude, you just do like a quick training session or whatever, then you're you're doing it. You don't need
don't
you
know.
don't need to speak Thai in order to do it. Apparently,
No,
Yeah,
you
that's
do
what I
need a
mean.
degree.
No,
Which you have, right?
I don't think you need a degree.
Yeah, a bachelor,
Teach
fucking associates
English?
in music.
No,
No,
I don't think you
I'm
need a degree.
It might depend on the program, but I'm pretty sure you do. You have to pass the test, the teaching English as a foreign language.
Okay.
exam. But
You can pass the test.
Yeah.
But like, do you look up if you need a degree to teach English in Thailand?
Nope. Stop. Don't
No.
make him do that.
No,
and don't
come on.
face away from the mic.
Come on, seriously. Dude, seriously.
I'm not. Well, okay. Here's one reason we're not going to Thailand. I like my shitty country.
also, I just racked up like $100,000 in student loans, so I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to go.
Yeah, I'm never gonna pay those off either. So I'm stuck here.
Just
They
like,
chained me. I'm a slave.
fuck, man. I mean,
I have to work some shit job for the rest of my life and pay off.
I guess that's an
fucking huge
excuse
debt.
not
Nah,
to.
I'm gonna work an awesome job for the rest of my life.
Fucking talking about me.
Sorry.
Trying to be
But, like-
selfish here, Cat.
Well, sucks for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be happy.
That's dumb, though. That's so, it's stupid that, like, we have to put people in debt so hard. You know what I mean? Why are we doing that to them?
Because that's capitalism, and we aren't the people with the money.
We
They
need
are. We gotta
like,
give it to them.
we need a better way to do capitalism. I think
Yeah,
capitalism
it's
is probably
called
the best way, but we need a better way to do it. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Like with a
It's-
slightly more socialist lean.
Yeah.
perhaps?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, totally. The free market sucks. They don't want holidays.
No, the free market creates like social inequities. And
Okay, so throughout the world in almost every major
Class.
country, you need what's called a TEFL, or it stands for like
The
Teach
same?
English.
Teach
like,
English for
teachers
language.
Of English is foreign language.
Teaching English as a foreign language. You need that certification. However, some do require degrees, and Thailand requires a degree from a 4-year university.
No.
Yeah,
But
they're
other countries
pretty
might
strict.
not. Where else would
No,
we go?
actually, there is actually a website, if you Google it, called No Degree, No Problem. 6 countries you can teach English with just the TEFL
Where is
license.
it? Where is it?
So the first 3 are kind of weird.
Okay.
Cambodia,
Down.
Nicaragua,
It's a holiday in Cambodia.
okay, you ready? Spain,
Oh. Speak. You do a little lisp over there.
Argentina,
Ooh, that's nice. Buenos Aires.
Mexico,
I think they have a lot of political problems right
and
Buenos Aires.
Russia.
now. No,
We could probably-
Argentina.
Nicaragua would be cool.
Yeah, fuck.
Go to
dude,
Nicaragua.
Let's go fucking
Yeah, I'm not going with you.
No, come on, man.
Nope.
What's
John,
stopping
can I
you?
point out that you
super
do
hot down
have
there.
a 4-year degree?
Yeah, we do. But I want to get James to come.
No, I don't have a 4-year degree.
That's why let's go to fucking Argentina,
By
dude.
the way, I want to just tell you the description for Nicaragua. This beautiful gem of a tropical Central American nation offers everything that Costa Rica does, but it's cheaper.
That's amazing. That's literally that's way better than Argentina. Right? That's what you said, Argentina?
It's Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. That's what I
Yeah,
said. Dude.
No.
It's fucking, dude, why not though?
because
Come on.
Nicaragua
speaking
offers
English.
a super authentic Latin
like-
American experience and a perfect opportunity to learn
Nah, a
Spanish.
friend of mine did that in Korea.
Yeah, nothing's stopping you to try it for like a year, you know? Let's
A
fucking
little
go.
bit.
so like
Let's fucking go.
I'm too old for that shit.
No, dude, there's no excuse. No excuse. You're never too old. You're never too in debt. You're never too.
Because
You
I
can
don't
do
want
it
to
though.
teach English
You can
as
still
a
do
foreign
it.
language.
Alright.
there's that too.
I want to teach English as a first language.
It's your first language.
2 kids that have trouble with it.
Yeah. The fuck, man.
I don't want to be around kids,
At all.
even of a foreign language, especially of
You
a
could,
foreign language.
but like,
I don't
you-
like kids. I don't like kids. I don't understand even more.
You could work.
I don't like the
you
kids
could work.
you teach.
You
I
could,
don't like.
you could work any job
regular
anywhere though.
kids.
Like you could just move somewhere and work a job and like, be good. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to find one here where I don't have to interact with children. So far, striking out.
Striking out. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck, man.
I think you're just especially unhappy with your current situation.
I guess so.
Going deep.
I'm just gonna stop recording.